I'm back in Notting Hill in this little mews to see Jamie in his house and see what kind of progress he's been making. Last time I was here there was a big hole in the ground, so I'm hoping that a little bit more has progressed since then. We're going to learn a little bit more about all the eco products and sustainable materials that he and Ben are putting into this little house. Where in the build are we now?
Right, okay, so basically we've done a lot of the very time-consuming work, which is digging out the foundations, putting the piers in for all these new steels. There's steels on all the floors. Now we get to the fun bit, and we're going to put in the new windows, we're going to put in the new lovely solid oak floor from Sustainable European Forest, and of course later I'd say in about 2 months' time, we'll be putting the bathrooms and the kitchen in, which are all recycled from recyclable materials.
Always the interior designer.
Special tiles for the bathroom walls that absorb moisture, that aren't fired in a kiln, so you've got none of that energy take from the kiln. And finally, the paints will go on, and the paints are eco paints as well.
Low VOCs.
I understand that that's the case. The thing I'm learning is that actually all the building materials and the building practices that are environmentally responsible and sustainable are completely available and ready to get hold of. I thought we were going to have huge delays because I wasn't going to the standard building merchants
or B&Q or whoever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But actually, as long as you're organised and you order things in advance, all these materials are completely available. And luckily, because Ben from Green Steps is my consultant on this job, and he is very organised, it's run as smooth as, or more smoothly than, a normal traditional building project.
So what you're saying really is that actually just with a little bit more research, this isn't so difficult to do.
Well, no, and as time goes by, these products are going to become more mainstream. Yeah. The main building merchants will be stocking them. Now, they will come down in price.
On the subject of price, though, is it a little bit more expensive?
It is a little bit more expensive. I mean,
and probably you want to go a bit high end.
There are some products that are more expensive. For example, the windows that I'm replacing these old ones with, these are single glazed windows. The new ones are triple glazed. They've come from Sweden. The wood is from a sustainable forest. Now they are more expensive, and I'd say you're probably looking at maybe 20% more expensive than your normal double glazed unit.
But you're saving more than 20% in your heat loss, right?
Over a number of years. Yes.
Over a number of years, right? You've been a construction company, London's best builders, for going on 4 years now. But you're making that change, which is what I want to see everybody doing. What made you one of the forerunners?
I just think it's time to do it. You see all this press coverage, and I'm absolutely convinced that the government will have to introduce subsidies to encourage people to implement these practices. It's going to happen.
And you'll just be right there going, yeah, I know how to do that.
Hopefully we'll have been there first, and we'll know how to do it, and people will come to us to get us to do it.
I love these French doors. Tell me a bit about that, because they're triple glazed.
That's right, yeah. Well, where you'd expect to find double glazing in a modern house, we've actually said, no, let's go for triple glazing. You get much better performance, and actually it's the price differential is almost nothing, and especially as these have actually come from Sweden. The Swedes tend to be able to do this technology.
What I like about these frames is they're not nasty vinyl, which everyone thinks is the new product. They're still made of wood. It's sustainable wood, is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. This is sustainable redwood from Sweden, and it's actually infinitely more eco-friendly than building something out of a PVC product. PVC's got a lot of environmental issues in both its production and its disposal, but these should actually last an awful lot longer than PVC windows. Treated exceptionally well, so actually the finish on it is really fantastic, and you get a much more natural look about it as well. I much prefer them to the
Me too, yeah.
to the PVC
We've got
windows.
triple glazing. On one side's a vacuum, and the other side has. Tell me what that is.
It's argon filled, so that makes it exceptionally good at insulating, and there's also low E glass in there as well, which is a high insulation type of glass.
So what you'll get is the space will be flooded with light, but it will still be highly insulated.
That's right, yeah.
Not losing heat through glass windows.
Absolutely, yes.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. So when you and I met, because I had a client who needed insulation on the outside of a listed building, and then you told me about this house which is being insulated from the inside.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, well, what we've had to do here is, because we can't change the external appearance of the house, it's a brick-facing house rather than a rendered finish.
Right.
So what we've had to do is insulate the inside of the house, and we've chosen to do that with this wood fibre board.
It feels very organic, actually.
Well,
it almost feels woolly.
Absolutely. Well, it's
like
actually made from
sweaters that got left in the in the dryer.
It's almost 100% recycled wood fibre, about 99.5% recycled wood fibre, which is basically the waste product from sawmills across Europe.
Sawdust, basically.
Yeah, essentially.
Compacted together.
Essentially, they heat it up in a big vat of water, heat it gently, and the natural lignin that's in the wood then comes out, and they use that when they compress the board. That actually bonds it together, so it's got no artificial glues in there. It's a really natural product, of course.
And Jamie said you were going to insulate the front and the back, which are the exposed walls, but now you've just decided to do the walls that have neighbours too. What's the reason behind that?
Well, that's right. Yeah. Well, actually, what we're trying to do here is to improve the acoustic performance of the house as well. And this product is rather like a sort of wonder product, if you like. It's not only brilliant at thermal insulation; it's great acoustic insulation too. So we're going to put it against the party walls between here and both the terraces either side.
So Jamie can play his music as loud as he
right,
wants when he moves back in.
Yeah, and I'm sure he will.
Excellent. That is brilliant.